began with a signal, a distress beacon not from Earth, but from the stars. Something massive was entering the solar system, moving with purpose, scanning every world in its path. When it reached Earth's atmosphere, the skies turned red. Satellites failed. Power grids flickered. And deep within the fortress of solitude, Superman heard it, a language older than any human civilization. Mechanical, rhythmic, and full of pain. The message was clear: Autobots, we are not alone. Superman's eyes narrowed. For once, he didn't feel like the most powerful being in the room, or rather, on the planet. Moments later, the skies over Metropolis ripped open. Colossal ship, the Ark, descended through the clouds. Metal groaned, the atmosphere shimmered, and the world's strongest man braced for impact. The ramp opened, and stepping through the smoke came a figure unlike any alien Kal-El had ever seen. Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots, guardian of Cybertron, a warrior forged in battle and tempered by compassion. At first, there was no hostility, only curiosity. Prime looked down at Superman, optics glowing faintly blue. "You are not of this world," he said. Superman smiled. "Neither are you." For a moment, it was almost peaceful. Two beings, each the last hope of their people, meeting under a broken sky. They spoke of lost worlds, of wars that consumed galaxies, of hope that refused to die. Optimus shared the story of Cybertron, how greed and corruption tore it apart, how he'd led the Autobots to defend life wherever they could find it. Superman listened in silence, because in Prime's voice he heard something familiar. Duty, loss, the unbearable weight of being a symbol. But that peace wouldn't last. From the shadow of Earth's orbit came the enemy that haunted Optimus, Decepticons led by Megatron himself. They had tracked the Autobots across the stars and found refuge impossible. Megatron's transmission echoed across every device on Earth. One world falls, another rises. Surrender the Autobot or perish with him. The United Nations panicked. Cities prepared for evacuation. And Superman knew Earth wasn't ready for a war of machines. Optimus turned to him, his metallic frame towering like a mountain. "I will not bring this destruction to your home. I will leave." But Superman stepped forward. "No one threatens my planet." The words carried the weight of a god and a promise that if war was coming, he'd stand with the one who fought for peace. Then came the first strike. Megatron's forces entered the atmosphere like falling stars, crashing across continents. Superman flew through the chaos, disarming missiles, saving pilots, stopping collapsing towers. And beside him, Optimus transformed, from towering warrior to roaring red and blue truck, charging through fire to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. The people watched in awe. A god and a machine fighting side by side. The Man of Steel and the Autobot commander, defenders of two dying worlds. But even together, they couldn't stop what came next. The Decepticons unleashed something new, a weapon built from stolen Kryptonian tech, scavenged from the wreckage of Zod's invasion years earlier. It emitted a frequency that crippled Superman's strength. He dropped to one knee, his hands trembling as his vision blurred. Optimus grabbed him before he could fall, shielding him with his own body as the blast tore through buildings. "Stay down, Kal-El," Prime said, voice strained. "This fight is mine." Superman shook his head. "Not while I can still stand." But the weapon struck again, stronger this time. The red sun energy in its core began to sap every ounce of power from his cells. And that's when Optimus made his choice. He drove straight into the heart of the storm, transforming mid-charge, and tackled Megatron through the ruins of Metropolis. Steel on steel. Brother against brother. Every blow shook the ground. Superman could only watch, too weak to move, as Optimus took the full force of the Decepticon army. His armor dented, his voice glitched, but his words never faltered. "Freedom is the right of all sentient beings." He threw Megatron into the sky, but the price was heavy. Optimus fell, smoking, his body broken but his spark still glowing. Superman crawled to him, his strength slowly returning as the energy weapon cooled. "Optimus," he said quietly, "you saved millions." Prime's optics flickered. "So did you, my friend." Then the spark dimmed. Superman looked up at the battlefield, at the Decepticons regrouping, at humanity staring in fear, at the wreckage of two worlds colliding. And for the first time in years, he felt powerless. He clenched his fists. The Man of Steel's eyes began to glow red again. If Earth was now part of this war, then so was he. And somewhere in the silence of space, Optimus's spark pulsed one last time, a faint echo of light drifting into the void. The battle for Earth had only begun. Dawn broke over the smoking ruins of Metropolis. The once proud skyline stood fractured, a monument to a war that wasn't humanity's to fight. But amid the dust and silence, something stirred. Optimus Prime's systems flickered back to life. Circuits reconnected. His spark reignited. He lived. When Superman found him, buried under steel and fire, the relief in his eyes was real. "You're alive," he said, voice cracking with exhaustion. Prime slowly rose, armor scorched and cracked. "We both are. But many others are not." That silence between them was heavy, because they both knew this wasn't victory. It was only the beginning. The Decepticons had retreated, but not defeated. Megatron had escaped into orbit, gathering strength, plotting something bigger. And the governments of Earth were now divided. Some saw the Autobots as saviors, others as invaders. Superman tried to calm the chaos, speaking before the world. "They came here to protect life," he said. "They are not our enemies." But for every word of hope he spoke, news screens flashed images of destruction. Explosions. Collapsed towers. Alien war machines in city streets. Fear was louder than reason. Optimus Prime watched from the shadows, listening to the same broadcast. He had seen this before on Cybertron when fear tore civilizations apart. He turned to Superman. "Your people are afraid of what they do not understand." Superman nodded. "So were yours." That sentence lingered, because both knew how that story ended, with worlds destroyed. Meanwhile, deep beneath the oceans, Megatron was rebuilding. Using Earth's metals and Kryptonian fragments, he was forging something monstrous, a fusion of Decepticon technology and alien energy. He called it the Allspark Reforged, a device that could bend organic and mechanical life into one. His plan was simple: turn Earth into the next Cybertron. When Superman and Prime discovered it, the truth broke them in different ways. Superman saw another invasion, another threat to humanity. Prime saw the reflection of his own failure, a war that had followed him across galaxies. They both agreed Megatron must be stopped. But how to stop him, that's where they differed. Superman believed in a swift strike, direct and decisive. Destroy the weapon. End the threat. Prime disagreed. To destroy the reforged Allspark, he warned, is to destroy millions of dormant sparks within it, unborn Cybertronians. Superman clenched his jaw. "You're saying we should risk billions of lives? For your people's ghosts?" Prime's optics dimmed. "Every life matters. Kal-El, metal or flesh." For the first time, two saviors stood on opposite sides of mercy. It wasn't pride that separated them. It was philosophy. Superman saw life through the lens of hope. Protect what's in front of you, no matter the cost. Optimus saw existence through sacrifice. Protect the idea of life, even when it hurts. Their argument turned into a standoff. Superman's eyes burned red. Prime's energon blade extended. "Stand down, Prime," Superman said. "I cannot," Prime replied. "I will not let you become the destroyer of worlds." The ground trembled. The air cracked. Two legends clashed for the first time, not as enemies, but as ideals colliding. Superman moved first. A blur of motion, a sonic boom through the dust. Prime countered, swinging his blade with the force of a freight train. The impact shattered windows for miles. Superman's punch dented Prime's chest plate. Prime's fist sent Superman crashing into concrete. Neither held back, but neither aimed to kill. They were testing resolve, not power. Your mercy blinds you, Superman shouted. And your power corrupts you, Prime roared. Every hit was a question. Every block an answer. They were both right. And both wrong. At last, Superman pinned Prime against a cratered wall. I can't let Megatron win again because of your hesitation, he said. Prime's voice crackled. And I won't let you become what you fear. But before the next strike could land, the sky tore open. Dozens of Decepticon warships entered the atmosphere, darkening the sun. Megatron's voice boomed across the horizon. While heroes fight, the world burns. He activated the Allspark reforged. Energy waves erupted, transforming everything they touched, cars, machines, even buildings, into mechanical hybrids under his control. Earth itself began to change. Superman turned to Prime, his expression grim. We end this together. Prime nodded. For Earth. For Cybertron. They launched into the sky. Two icons reborn through battle, heading straight toward the storm that could end both their worlds. As lightning split the sky, humanity watched in awe, not knowing if their saviors would return or destroy each other trying. The sky was fire. The earth was metal. And at the heart of it all stood Megatron, his new body glowing with stolen Kryptonian power. Superman and Optimus Prime emerged from the smoke, side by side once more. Two silhouettes, one forged in steel, the other born of stars. Look at you, Megatron sneered. Two saviors clinging to dying ideals. His eyes blazed crimson. When this is over, Earth will rise as a world of machines. No pain, no weakness, no death. Optimus stepped forward, his voice steady and strong. You mistake control for peace, Megatron. Freedom cannot exist under tyranny. Superman's eyes glowed red, his cape whipping in the burning wind. And you mistake power for destiny. With that, the storm began. Megatron unleashed a blast of energy straight from the Allspark reforged. The ground split open as molten metal surged like rivers of fire. Superman flew into the beam, cutting through it with sheer will, his heat vision colliding with alien energy in a blinding explosion. Optimus transformed, engine roaring, tearing across the battlefield. He smashed through Decepticon drones, his sword slicing through waves of metallic monsters that used to be machines, now twisted hybrids of human and cybernetic life. For every blow they landed, Megatron adapted. His Kryptonian-enhanced armor regenerated, his strength rivaled Superman's, and his tactics mirrored Prime's precision. He had become something neither god nor machine, a fusion of both. Superman was thrown into the wreckage of a skyscraper. Optimus knelt beside him, servos sparking, his armor torn open. This world cannot survive this power, Prime said. We must end it, Kal-El. Superman nodded, blood at his lip. Then we end it together. They formed a plan, silent, instinctive, born from trust built in war. Superman would distract Megatron. Prime would reach the core of the Allspark reforged and shut it down manually. As Superman took to the sky, Megatron met him midair, their fists colliding with the force of small suns. Lightning cracked across the heavens. Superman's blows rained like meteors, each one echoing through the clouds. But Megatron only laughed. You fight for ants, he snarled. For a world that fears you. Superman's eyes flared. That's what makes it worth saving. He drove Megatron through the clouds into the stratosphere. They broke the sound barrier, their clash lighting up the night like a second dawn. Meanwhile, below, Optimus Prime reached the Allspark reforged, a swirling core of energy pulsing with life and death. Voices filled his mind, the sparks of ancient Cybertronians, pleading to be saved. He hesitated. He couldn't destroy it. Not without wiping out the remnants of his entire species. Then he remembered Superman's words. Sometimes saving the present means letting go of the past. Optimus placed his hand on the core. I am Optimus Prime, he said softly, and I give my spark for theirs. Above, Megatron overpowered Superman, slamming him into orbit. He raised his arm for the killing blow, and froze. A blinding light erupted from Earth's surface. Optimus had merged his own spark with the Allspark, overriding its control systems. The energy surged back through Megatron, short-circuiting his body from within. He screamed as the power consumed him, tearing his fusion apart. Superman, weakened but alive, dove back into the atmosphere. He caught Optimus's falling body, his armor dim, his spark flickering. "Optimus," Superman said, voice breaking. "You did it." Prime's optics flickered faintly. "Your world is free." Superman shook his head. "You can't leave now. We can save you." But Prime smiled, the kind of smile that doesn't need a mouth. "No, Kal-El. You already have." His spark faded into silence. The Allspark's light dimmed with him, sinking into the earth until nothing remained but calm. When the smoke cleared, the Decepticons were gone. The sky healed, and Earth, fragile, scarred, but still alive, began to breathe again. In the days that followed, Superman stood before the United Nations once more. He didn't speak of victory. He spoke of sacrifice. "Optimus Prime was not of our world," he said, "but he embodied everything we should be. Compassion, courage, and the belief that even the smallest being can make a difference." At the Fortress of Solitude, a monument was built. A statue, half metal, half stone, depicting Prime holding the Allspark in one hand, reaching for the sky. A plaque beneath it read, "Freedom is the right of all sentient beings." Superman often visits that statue when the world grows heavy. He stares at it and whispers, "You'd have liked this world, Optimus." And sometimes, just for a moment, he swears he can hear the distant echo of a voice carried on the wind. "Roll out.